Welcome to the Hoof and Fang podcast. I'm Kirt Graves.
And I'm Maz Maddox.
And I wasn't fully on my chair before we started this. There we go.
Excellent.
How are you?
I'm good. Good.
How's life, and more importantly, how's work?
Well, work's nuts because this is my last week. Last day is, I guess, when this podcast comes out, it'll be the last day of this day job. So it's just the final stretch of getting everything done, and my brain is a little gooey. But yeah, almost done. Almost past the finish line for this job. So
incredible.
Yes.
It went fast.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, 2 weeks is a very short period of time to be like, I'm leaving, thank you, and goodbye.
Right. Yeah. Well, and if this was a little bit more of a well-oiled machine, I think it wouldn't feel as frantic, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to leave, is that, it's already such a tiny team, and like trying to get everyone up to speed before I leave is just insane. I'm not going to get...
But that's why you shouldn't ever have teams where one person, or there are tasks that only one person knows how to do.
Right. Yeah.
That should never
be a thing.
Yeah. You should always be cross-training, always sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it works. It's not only for when somebody leaves, it's like for vacations.
Yeah.
Like somebody needs to know how to do what you do while you're gone.
Right.
And you should be able to leave and not worry that your job isn't getting done.
Right. Yeah.
So important. So yeah.
Yeah,
you got to be cross training, because you never know when somebody's leaving or when somebody might have an emergency or an accident, and it's like, guys,
exactly. Yeah, I've been championing this for a while, and it's just one of those. This person's super new, so I've been like trying to like baby step her into it, and then suddenly I'm like, oh no, it's just baby bird out of the nest. Like
sorry.
Oof.
Here you go. Hope you grew some feathers.
Exactly.
Because you're flying now.
Good luck. But yeah, so it's Tuesday, and it feels like a very long week already.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
But it will only last a few more days.
Yeah, and then I get a nice week off, and then I start the new gig, which hopefully is much smoother. We'll see.
We'll see. I look forward to finding out how that goes.
Indeed.
Yeah. So any creative Maz work? I know you revealed the cover.
Yes. Yeah. So I did the cover
Save
reveal.
the Vampire.
So I'm glad everyone digs it. I really like it a lot. Like Shin did such a cool job with the heart. Like I love it. So yeah, that came out. I'm working on the blurb. I think the blurb, I should have it released today on Friday. Okay. So the blurb should be out. I'm still kind of fine tuning it, and actually Chloe Archer is helping me because she's amazing.
Friend of show, Chloe Archer.
Yes, exactly. So she's going to help me kind of refine it because she's really good at blurbs. So hopefully she'll sprinkle some magic onto it.
Yeah,
it'll be nice and good. But yeah, so as far as any other creative stuff, not really. I've been kind of still simmering on Ruben and Zhang's story, but I haven't really been able to work on it. I've been very distracted, so it's a little weird for me to not immedially dive into another project, but we've talked about it before.
You've got your brain on other things,
exactly.
And your brain can only be in one place at a time.
Right. So what about you?
Well, we've tied up the audiobook for Steal the Key.
Yes.
I now understand what the title means.
Yeah.
As well as the title of the next book. That wasn't obvious. And then, I have been working on our Hoof and Fang audio book, Far From Neverland, which I'm really enjoying. And then today we hit a snag.
Yeah. Yes.
And it is a snag of my own making. I have been saying for weeks that the thing that I was most behind on was prep for future projects. And it came to bite me in the ass today when I realized in my head, as I've been reading and prepping this book, I was saying one of the main characters' names in such a way that it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
And then I realized when I went to record today, I was like, oh, wait. These letters in this order could make several different types of sounds.
Yeah,
and I really need to know how the author wants this name to be said, because it's one of the two main characters and it's third person writing. So it's not even like I went here and I did this. It's this person went there. This person went and did this. No. This person talked to this person. And it's like the name is said like every other paragraph minimum.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, well, there's diminishing returns if I continue recording right now and don't know how to say this name. And if I got it right, great.
Yeah.
No, no problem.
For sure.
If I get it wrong,
That's a lot of work. I may as well
just re-record it all.
Yeah.
So today has been, waiting for the response to make sure that I know how to say this name correctly before I dive in. It's worth waiting one day.
For sure, yeah.
If I haven't heard back from the author by tomorrow morning, I will just have to send an email being like, this is what I think it is. And unless you feel super, super strongly, it's what it's going to be. Cause I have to
you have to move on for sure.
But again, I've learned you can't assume that you know how to say a name, even if it seems obvious to you.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. It could go the other way. And again, if I had prepped earlier and more thoroughly, because I did prep and I sent the author a word list and she got back to me, but for some reason I just didn't think I needed to know this guy's name.
Yeah.
I was like, I got that. No problem.
For sure.
And then it was like,
you're like in the middle of it.
What if it's not? What if it's not that?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
So today was spent, I'm working on doing my producer job for the book that I'm producing with a co-narrator for M.A. Wardell and A.J. Truman.
Excellent.
Because my co-narrator gave an excellent performance, but has more pickups than I am used to.
Right.
And so that is just taking me longer. So I've been working on that. I've been working on my other podcast.
So you still have plenty to do.
I always have things to do.
Yeah.
But there's a certain time of day when I can make my brain focus on reading a book out loud.
Yeah.
And that time has come and gone.
Yeah.
It's not like I can be like, oh, I'll work on other stuff during the day. And then once I get the email, I'll just work tonight on it. My brain doesn't do that.
Yeah. I can understand that. There's definitely I think I work best creatively, like earlier in the mornings, because at night I just can't seem to get there. I just kind of want to be a lump, or I want to do admin stuff, like really technical things.
Right.
So I can totally understand
there's
that.
many things I can focus on in the evening.
Yeah.
But when I have tried to come in and record at a time that isn't early morning to early afternoon, it's just a slog.
Yeah.
If I can make it work, it's work.
Yeah.
It feels like work.
Dang.
So, and while no one has yet reached out to be like, hey, did you record these few chapters at a weird time? Because they sound wrong. I can't help but feel like the work suffers if I'm working that hard to get it out the door.
It makes sense. Because if you're burning the candle at both ends kind of thing, it's going to eventually show in your work.
Right.
So
that was just kind of like oops. This is, we knew it was going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Like the being so behind on prep was going to catch up to me eventually. And it did. And I'm not too concerned about it. The really nice thing about not directing a musical at the moment is it's like, well, if need be, I can work a little later.
Right.
If need be, I can come in on the weekend. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Yeah. Good. But so that's what's going on.
Did you see that, speaking of Finding Neverland, did you see that book got picked up by that Rainbow Crate and they're in their like adult box?
So I didn't know what that was, but I did because I have our social medias tied to my phone.
Yeah.
I saw posts happening about something.
Yeah.
So it's a part of the Rainbow Crate, but the adult box.
Yeah, and they have an adult box.
Ooh,
so if you like spicier stuff, and I saw it pop up, and it's getting like special edition with foiled dust jacket and like painted edges and stuff. And I was like, what? That's so cool.
And it's also getting an audiobook.
Exactly. I was like, man. So I sent River a message and was like, congrats. Yeah. That's so dope.
Right.
So yeah, that's awesome. So if you're a book box person, you should go check it out. Snag it because this book is fantastic. Would the book box
like to pay us some money for the finished audiobook?
Yeah,
we can send codes.
Yay. You know what? It's not a bad idea. I might actually reach out to them and be like, hey, so we're doing this thing. Yeah, do you want to like partner us
somehow?
Yeah.
Like, how do we make this work for everybody?
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
So no, I hadn't. So now I understand what that means.
Yeah. Okay. Rock on.
But I did see the post and was like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
But I do that with so many posts in the world of indie publishing. So many inside jokes or like references or memes that I'm like, I don't get that.
I don't understand what that is, but I'm happy or I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, if I don't understand it, I just don't reply to it.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. People get in trouble replying to things they don't understand. So
100%.
I don't get this.
Yep.
Is it an insult? Is it a compliment? Yeah. Is it a joke? I don't know.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So that's... So yeah, that's all I got going on. And then I do, so this is a fantasy series that I'm starting. Not a series, sorry. It's a standalone book.
Oh, cool.
That I think will lead into a series in the future, but it's a standalone book. It's part of the Fortune Favors the Fae universe, which is a multi-author universe.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm reading Tavia Lark's book, Bound to the Wild Fae.
Ooh, that's fun.
And I'm waiting to find out if it's pronounced Yarrow or Yarrow.
Nice.
Or some other variation.
Which one do you think it is?
In my head, it's Yarrow.
Yarrow? That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
But
I don't know.
Because then it's like, well, if you put an M there instead of a Y, the word is marrow.
Yep.
So maybe it's Yarrow. I don't know. Yeah. So fantasy worlds and their made up names.
For sure.
And there's no source to go to other than the author. I can't like go on Youglish and be like, how do I say this made up name?
Yeah. Because they'll give you something maybe totally different.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. It doesn't know. So yeah, I'm doing that. And then after that, I start a new series for Tantor called the Brinswick Chronicles.
That sounds familiar.
Because I am woefully behind on prep, I know nothing about at this point in time. I need to read that book this week so I can be ready to record it next week.
Nice. Good idea. Good idea.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I have 3 urban fantasy or fantasy books in a row. I got Steal the Key and then Bound to the Wild Fae and then the first of the Brinswick Chronicles coming up.
Sweet.
So,
good.
Yeah, it's a very, very Hoof and Fang centric work for me of late. We should invite these authors on to talk about their books.
We should actually.
Have Tavia back. And whoever wrote the other one. I don't know. I haven't read the book yet.
It's fine. God. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
I hope the authors don't listen to this podcast.
They're going to be like, wow, ouch.
I'm woefully behind on reading.
I'm sure they understand.
For work. I'm going to get to it. I promise.
Yeah. It's just part of it, man. Got a lot going on.
Exactly. So yeah, speaking of Far From Neverland, that is our current Hoof and Fang audiobook. Every week we are releasing episodes with some chapters. So the second episode came out this last week. We'll have the third episode coming out on Tuesday of the week after this episode comes out. This episode, I'm saying episode too many times. The episode of this podcast comes out on Friday, and the episodes for Far From Neverland come out on Tuesdays.
Yes.
We also have a weekly episode on Wednesdays where we talk about the Animorphs, and we'll be discussing book number 45, The Revelation. Those come out every Wednesday. We have Save the Vampire Work in Progress chapters that are coming out every Friday.
Indeed.
And we are also now doing an episode on Mondays, which we call the early shift. It comes out Monday mornings where Maz and I just shoot the shit when we first see each other at the beginning of a week, talk about our weekends, what's going on in the world. It's much more informal and personal.
Yeah.
And then the stuff we talk about on here. And that is all available to our Patreon members. So that means, God, we are posting something
almost every day.
Almost every goddamn day.
Yeah. We need to figure out something on Thursday, I guess. And then we'll have like a whole week.
You could post your work in progress stuff on Thursday, and because we have regular episodes that come out on Friday.
There you go.
Then
maybe I'll just scooch it up. Okay.
You know,
that's maybe what I'll do.
No, we don't have to. We don't have to worry about that. But yeah, almost every damn day of the week, something's coming out if you're a member of our Patreon.
Yeah.
So
very good stuff.
Yeah, check that out. All right, I'm excited about our topic of conversation today.
Yeah, me too. So this one accidentally put me down a rabbit hole too. Like as we were getting the show notes ready to go, I found a Goodreads list that I have saved. So I'm like, fun.
Ooh, yes.
So today we were talking about robots that we have loved, androids, cyborgs, and automatons that we love in speculative fiction books, movies, and TV.
Yes.
Yeah. So I actually had to look up because I thought I knew, and I was mostly right, the difference between androids, cyborgs, and automatons or robots. Do you know the difference? Or do you because I had to look it up to be 100% sure.
Well, I know a cyborg is somebody who's like part human, part robot.
Yeah.
And I think an android is all robot, but has some sort of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was vibing with too.
And then like an automaton could be like
just a robot.
Any robot.
Yeah. That
just kind of follows its programming.
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus. Like cyborg is a person with robotic components, and this is based off of a Reddit thread I found.
Sure.
And then android is a robot specifically designed to look human.
Yeah.
And then robot is any non-human like machine that can like replace human labor of some sort. So like, things in a factory are robots, but that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, that was right. Ish.
Yeah.
Ish. Do you have any favorites just off the cuff? Like, do you have some where you're like, oh, absolutely this
so
one?
The first one chronologically in my life is Johnny Five.
Okay.
From the movie Short Circuit.
Oh, yeah.
Which I watched, according to my parents, like every day for several years. Like, this was the movie that drove them crazy. That like I would just watch Johnny Five.
Just over and over.
Over and over and over again. I still have a soft spot in my heart for that robot. TikTok has been putting ads in front of me that there's like a Lego Johnny Five that you can buy.
How
and I'm
cute.
like, no, don't do it. I'm like, don't do it.
Like, you have time to
I don't need, and it like, it's a remote control and everything. I was like,
that's cool.
I don't need a Johnny Five. That's not something I need, but TikTok keeps showing it to me.
It's going to be flash forwarded next week and you're going to be like, I bought the fucking Lego.
Maybe. I don't know. My birthday is coming up, so maybe I just need to start dropping some hints.
Yeah, just like casually mention it around John and be like, you know, what's cool that I love.
Yeah. So that was the first one that really captured my imagination. Interestingly, like I guess he would be an automaton because he's not made to look like a human, but he does have like an artificial intelligence and experiences feelings and remorse and like becomes very human by the end of the movie. And then there's a second movie, which we don't really talk about. But we love Short Circuit and Johnny Five.
Cute.
Johnny number 5.
Yeah, I definitely adore the more cutesy kind of bumbly robots.
Sure.
Like little ones like I could have as pets or like my adopted children. Like, I would love to have one that would actually be useful, but I'd be like, no, it'd probably be one that would run into walls and I'd be like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm drawn to the ones that are completely pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think my absolute favorite, and to that end of something I watched to the point where I almost hate it to watch it again because I watched it so much, was the Iron Giant. Like, that one is such a classic. I watched that. I don't know if we had it on DVD or VHS or whatever, but I watched that one so much as a kid. I think we watched it recently, actually, and it still makes me cry.
Oh, it holds
so
up.
Good, yeah.
That's a fantastic movie.
It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, just like going through my brain and pop culture and like the things I enjoy, a lot of it's TV and movies. I'm really racking my brain to try to think of robots in a book that have like grabbed me.
That's where I got stuck too. Yeah.
But certainly, you know, like from the Star Trek universe, Data and Seven of Nine.
Yeah.
Are two of my favorite characters from those franchises.
Yeah, same.
And something about their search for their own humanity really appealed to me. And I think it's always a great storyline.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah, it's
very
classic.
enjoyable. A lot of the droids from the Star Wars universe, I especially love, and I meant to look it up. It's in Rogue One, I think, the really sassy one.
Yeah, the really tall, lanky
Alan
dude.
Tudyk is the voice of him.
I forgot his name.
That was real, like K2 or something like that.
Yeah, I loved him.
We should look it up so I get that right. I'll look it up while I'm talking. But like, of all the droids in the Star Wars universe, that one is definitely in my top 3.
Oh yeah, easily.
There's, strangely enough, because it's sort of tangentially related to Rogue One, in the Andor series, there's a droid that's in Diego, I don't remember his character's name, Diego Luna's mom's or adopted mom's apartment, and it's just like a real sad droid.
Really?
Kind of, like, it's like it's for some reason it's real sad, and it makes me so happy to see like just kind of like a
melancholy,
like a mopey, like an Eeyore robot.
That's kind of adorable, actually. Again, completely pointless. Probably doesn't do his job very well, but I would need him.
Yeah, K2SO.
Okay,
is the
K2SO.
Yeah, K2SO as the Rogue One droid.
Yeah, he's pretty fabulous.
Just a sassy, fabulous.
Yeah.
Droid. So like if it's that, if they're, I want him to be sassy, which probably like C-3PO like also appeals to me in a certain way.
Yeah, he is sassy. Even though I know that you have feelings about him beeping and how they understand.
No, I just think the whole point of him is what is the point of a protocol droid? Why do they need to interpret beeps and boops?
Yeah.
You can teach a robot a language by just like inserting a disc.
Yeah.
Just have the robot speak the language of the person who owns it, and then we're done.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I just remember you going on that rant once, and I was like, you have a great point, but you were so passionate about it. It made me laugh. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's just like, come on. You know?
No, I agree.
WALL-E Love
I
Wall-E.
love Wall-E.
Love Wall-E. Baymax in Big Hero 6.
Of course.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Made me feel things.
Yeah. That's another movie that crushed my soul. So good though.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I think I may be the only person in the world who really loved the reboot of Lost in Space.
Oh, really?
That was on Netflix for a couple of seasons. I thought it was such a fantastic reboot, and I loved what they did with the robot.
Yeah.
In that.
I saw it a while ago. I don't super remember because it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking it was good.
Huge,
but I also wasn't super
attached
attached to the source material.
Sure.
So I kind of went into it being like, this is fun. And like didn't care if they did weird things with the characters.
Yeah. So I was a huge fan of like almost everything they did with that show. I love that they made it more serious. I love that they made the family more diverse.
Yeah.
I love that they gave the robot a storyline.
Yeah.
And the actress they cast as the doctor instead of having the doctor be a male. Oh my God. I always get her mixed up with Piper Perabo. And I know that's not the actress's name, but it starts with a P. Yeah, that's definitely not who I'm thinking of. Starts with a P. Well, folks who know Lost in Space will be able to look it up.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you, robots?
Well, let me think. I had to like Google robots because I was like, I couldn't think
Parker Posey.
Yeah,
Sorry,
there you go.
I knew it was another double P name.
So I liked The Iron Giant. There's another movie called Chappie, which I liked, but they bullied that damn robot too much. Like I was ready to kill everybody in the movie. But Chappie's really cute. There's actually a robot from a video game that I love, but the robot's actually actively trying to kill you the entire time.
Aww.
But she's like one of my favorite robots ever. Because like you start off as a test subject and you're just trying to figure out puzzles.
Sure.
And the robot progressively just starts getting more aggressive and like making fun of you and like kind of teasing you.
I'm into that.
Yeah, she's really funny. Like at some point she's like, you look as majestic as a seagull piloting a blimp. Like just real mean. But yeah, by the end of it, she's like goes nuts and you have to like actually fight her. And you break little pieces off of her and each of her piece of her personality. Like there's one that's like British and telling you a recipe of a cake and this other one's just screaming at you. And I'm like, what is happening with this guy? So yeah, that's one of my like all-time favorites. I also, so as a kid, since I was such a huge like action adventure person, I also really like the Terminator, but only the one from the second movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah. Because the first one, the Terminators were all bad guys. So it was more of just like humans against robots and humans win. But the second one, there's actually, oh man, I forgot what the Schwarzenegger's model.
Okay.
He comes back to actually save the kid from being murdered. And he has a whole human arc where he's like a robot, but by the end of it, he like learns to love, that kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, I loved that movie. Yeah. But I think I just wanted a big, cool robot bodyguard when I was a kid. I was like, yeah, I want to hang out with that guy and like ride motorcycles and beat up bad guys.
For sure.
Classic little kid things.
Right.
Why do you think that, or like what about these characters makes them so lovable? Like, because they kind of run the gamut of, and I said it correctly this time, of personalities. Like you've got your cold, calculating ones, but you also have like the kind of ridiculous, either sassy ones or pointless ones. What do you think draws us to them? I
think like we as humans are just drawn to anything that we can anthropomorphize.
Yeah.
It's why we love our pets. And it's why we love anything that looks like a little pet or a little human robot.
Yeah.
Anything we can put googly eyes on and be like, it's a face.
Yes.
We love that. We love that shit. I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess it's just part of our
instinct,
nature.
Yeah, to like seek out that in the things we have. And then so often their stories do involve an element of like trying to understand humanity in a way. And that is such an avatar for like all of us who are out here trying to understand fucking humanity.
Yeah.
Because it sucks and we don't get it. And our own feelings only make things worse and our brains are dumb. And like every time you try to understand another person, you're like, I hate people. So like if you can do it through like a fake thing. In a fake story, you can almost find your way to understanding why humanity is worth saving in the first place.
Right.
In a way that you can't if you just look around you.
Yeah. That's That's pretty fair. I think one of the most...
It's grim, but fair.
Yeah, it is though. But I mean, I think it helps us kind of unpack like, how absolutely trash everything is, right. But also there's some good because, that's just kind of the nature of who we are. Mm-hmm. I will say, talking about the putting googly eyes on things, I remember somebody pointing out, and I absolutely agree with this, the whole trope in these movies of robots being looked as like other and people not like them, and they're like, ugh, get out of here, android. Like, you're telling me if you have an appliance in your house that can talk to you, that you wouldn't immediately love it?
Right.
No.
Yeah, the basis of all of those movies is crazy.
Yeah.
Until they start to look so much like humans that like...
Sure. I think it hits the uncanny valley thing.
Right. Yeah. Or like the movies where they're like, it's a robot, but it's played by a human person. Right. And then it's like the most gorgeous model version of a human. Yeah. And then like the wife comes home and is like, yeah, you're going to try to fuck our vacuum, aren't you? Honey, take it back to the store. Yeah. That is not allowed in the house with me. Exactly. So. Yeah, I feel like that would have to be a conversation in every household. Oh, you got the newest model? Sit on the couch. We need to set some ground rules up. Right, exactly. Yeah. that's where's the manual? We need to be able to say what it cannot do. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put some parental controls on this shit. Right. Yeah. For sure. Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Billy, why did you have the android in your room for an hour? Trying to jailbreak it. Yeah. Jeez. Holy shit. We went into something there. We did. We spiraled very quickly, but I'm not shocked. Yeah. Do you think, well, this is more of a sci-fi question. Do you think an android could truly learn to like love? Why not? Yeah. Like hard programming. Like, well, think about how AI is right now. It's constantly learning and adapting. Mm-hmm. What the fuck is a human brain if not a little robot? Right? Okay. We don't know how any of that shit works. Yeah. It just happens. We try to unpack it. It's electrical impulses and neurons and we understand so little of how that organ operates. Mm-hmm. So who's to say a machine couldn't emulate exactly what's going on up there? Yeah. I want to believe that someday. Too. We don't know. But sure. Yeah, I think it's possible. Yeah. I certainly think it's possible for a robot to emulate love or affection. Yeah. Which, how many of us in wherever we fall on the autistic spectrum, that's how we learn to love. Yeah. By just seeing other people do it and emulating it. And then maybe if we're lucky, understanding why it is people do that, why we form human relationships. Mm-hmm. That's a good point. So, yeah. Who's to say technology couldn't catch up to biology? Yeah. I want a future where I can have a robot who loves me like how I'm not sure if my cat does. Sure. That's enough for me. Right. Yeah. If the robot flocks to me more than Alex, I will love it with my whole heart and will assume he does the same. Amen. You know what else we really need? This is a tangent. Okay. We need the collar from Up. Oh, yeah. Where it interprets the dog barking into actual human speech. That I need to know what my dogs are barking at me about. Yeah. Because sometimes it makes no sense. Yeah. That would be... Sometimes I totally get it and I understand. And other times I'm like, dude. I don't know what you want. What is your damage? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's most of my conversations with my cats. Like I can usually tell when the hungry meows are, but other times I'm like, I literally have no idea what you want. Right. Like you've been fed. You don't want me to hold you. What? Like, please. I don't take you outside to go to the bathroom, which would be option number 3 for us. Right, exactly. So play, food, bathroom, just need attention. It's usually that, I think. Yeah. I think if we had the capability to translate, it would just be like, me. Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh. Okay. Look at me. Look at me. Yeah. Don't look away. Look at me. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. Yeah. Touch me. Yep. Touch. Yep. Yes. There. Okay. Follow me. Yeah. Keep looking at me. Yeah. I'm going over here for no reason. No reason. Just want to go over here. Yep. You're following me. Yeah. That maybe I don't want the collar because that's or just that's what you can take it off. That's true. Yeah. Just put it on. But then they'd be barking at me to put the collar on. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh damn it. Well, have you seen? And this is another tangent.
The buttons.
Oh no, not one of those.
Oh no,
not on this show.
Have you seen the buttons that they put on the ground? And
yeah, I think that's bullshit.
You think it's not real?
I think it's absolute bullshit. I think if I could put those buttons on my ground and I could film my dog for an hour and clip together something that makes sense.
That's fair.
I do no.
You don't think they actually are associating words with things?
I mean, I think like most trainers and like people who study animals say that dogs can learn like anywhere from like 10 to 30 words.
Okay.
But they're never going to be able to read.
Well, I think you train them, like you don't ever move the buttons, I think.
Well,
so they just know like what the sound is more than anything. But I don't know. I want it to be real.
I just don't think it's real. I just think that's all fancy editing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, a broken clock is right twice a day. Give a monkey a typewriter and somehow it'll type out War and Peace. Give it enough time.
Yeah.
Put some buttons in front of a dog, especially when they light up and make noises. And it will press them.
Well, and especially if they get positive reinforcement constantly. They're going to be like, oh, I do the thing and you pay attention to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that's real. Sorry.
Oh, dang. Heartbroken. But anyway.
I mean, prove me wrong.
Well, no. I'm not going to take the time to do that.
Oh, okay. I'm willing to be proven wrong. I just, of the ones I have seen, I have not yet been convinced that it is a genuine conversation happening between dog and human.
Right. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my dog knows to go ring the bell on the door if it wants to go outside.
Yeah.
So if that bell was a button instead,
it would know that. Thing. Yeah.
But it wouldn't understand that it's asking to go outside. And if I said, I'm going to be there in just a second, Bodhi, it wouldn't know.
Yeah. He'd be like, I'm sorry, I hit the bell.
Right.
Do you want me to do it 14 more times?
He wouldn't then go to the other button to say like, it's okay.
Take your time.
Dad, I have to potty. Like, you know, it wouldn't, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's how their brains work.
No, it wouldn't be that complicated.
Them to, because then there'd be another complicated person in the house. And I don't,
you don't need that.
I don't need more of those.
Yeah. One's enough.
I need my very simple dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to androids androids, robots, and everything, they usually have tragic endings to their stories, often sacrificing themselves to save humans. Why do we think that is?
I don't know. Because as previously mentioned, are humans worth saving? Probably not.
No, I'm usually like, don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But they'll be fine.
Especially for media for young people, it's a great way to have a sacrifice happen without sacrificing a human life.
Yes.
I think that's why in most media for children, the bad guys are robots or androids, because you can pew them.
Yeah.
And they blow up and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's just smoke.
It's not murder.
Yeah.
It was just a machine.
It's, what is it, like property damage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So I think as a story device, it makes sense when you're telling a story for a young person. I think by the time you're an adult and you're writing for adults or creating media for adults, you just kill off one of the characters.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Stop killing off the robots. They're usually more charming.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And also, like, in a lot of senses, like, they can be fixed.
Yeah, you know? Right.
Or like you get their little chip or like it's uploaded to the cloud and they come back.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's like, it's fine.
It's also, it's either like, because they usually have to destroy them like completely for it to be like, they'll just repair them. Like in Terminator, they like melt the guy. No. But in like Iron Giant, he gets blown up. And me and Alex have completely different views on the ending of that movie. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm glad he comes back. And Alex is like, no, it should be about learning that everything comes to an end and like his sacrifice meant something. And now this kid has to understand death and the finality of things. And I'm like, fuck you, I want the robot to come back to life. Why are you making this so serious? Like, it's a kid's movie. So, but yeah, I like the robots coming back.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
So, but that's why I think that is.
That's fair. Let's see. If you could transport one robot or android from a story to reality, who would it be and why?
Who would be most useful to me? I mean, I think it would have to be something like a K2SO. But then again, I'm trying to maybe more like a C3PO because there's more actual human sized. I mean, I would want it to be able to transport itself.
Yeah.
Be able to fit through a standard door.
Yeah.
Help with housework.
That would be nice.
Honestly. Honestly, it wouldn't need to be anything more substantial than like a really powerful Roomba. So like maybe Rambo from In the Lives of Puppets.
There you go. Yeah, I forgot about Rambo. He's wonderful.
Just help me with the cleaning. Yeah. And we'll be fine. Take the dogs out. Take the dogs for a walk.
Yeah, there you go.
All of that would be super helpful. So I'm trying to think of one that would be more appropriate than like C-3PO, but I guess that's... Plus, John would fucking love it if we had a C-3PO in the house.
Oh my God, yeah.
Lose his mind.
Yeah. Well, Steve, he's kind of fussy though, but I guess it'd be fine. Like I wouldn't mind if the robot was fretting about things.
No.
Be fine. Just
I think he's fussy and in a way that makes me go, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not articulating that well. Well, do you ever start to say something and then it just like blah, 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 blah,
that's usually where I am. Yeah.
That thought went absolutely out of my head. So I don't know. I would tolerate that. I think better than a super earnest robot.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because I think I can appreciate something being upset because things aren't perfect. Because I'm like, well, you can be upset about that, and I'll just.
You know what? I take it back.
What?
I want Vision from the MCU.
Oh shit! That does count.
Paul Bettany Vision.
Yep.
He can make himself look like a real person. He can definitely walk the dogs. Yep. He can fly to the supermarket. Yep. He can walk through walls. He can hold a conversation.
Okay, yeah, that's what I would want too. I was going to do something silly and dumb.
Good for security.
That. You can do everything.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Please and thank you.
That is the perfect answer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one
I'll take one as well. But I think I'd want him, well, I guess it would come in handy with that. He would look like a human, but I really like his robot, or like his cool, android form,
but
I guess.
There would just be times when it would be nice to be able to like, like, oh,
going
damn it, I forgot eggs. Can you run to the store and get some eggs? Yes, he can.
Yeah.
Because he can make himself look like Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
And just walk into the store, get some eggs, fly back home.
Yeah, exactly.
Done and done.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. If you had the option to upload your mind into an android or a robot, would you?
At the end of my life?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you wouldn't do it like now? It'd have to be like full life kind of thing?
I think before I end, to me, I would have to think of it as like the next phase of life.
Okay.
So I'd have to go through all the phases of life before getting there.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I guess because you're going to be a totally different person as like a fully formed 90-year-old human than you would now.
Right.
Yeah, and then having that extra leg of your life as a immortal being, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I want to be able to taste food for as long as possible.
You don't think that they would be able to wire it to where you'd have...
I don't know. I mean, I guess, again, that would be another factor to consider. But like, in my mind, no, there's still limits on what they can experience in the world. So like your brain could go on, but your body really would be... It'd be a totally different experience of having a body that you don't taste or feel. Or,
yeah, that would be the trade-off, wouldn't it?
You know? Yeah. And like you can just do that for as long as you want until you're done existing and then be like, okay, unplug me.
Yeah.
And it would also be really excellent if like every once in a while you just went in and like got your consciousness like downloaded. So like, God forbid you get in a car accident or something.
Right.
They can just be like, oh, we just had a backup from 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah. Or just like constantly upgrading it or updating it to the cloud or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be nice. I feel like I would get reckless as hell though. You know what I mean? Be like, I'll go skydiving. Sure.
People do that.
Yeah, I know. My mother has done it and she was like in her 60s when she did it. And she was like, just went for it. I don't know. That scares the shit out of me.
There are much more reckless things to do than jumping out of an airplane with a parachute on your back.
I know. That one's just on my list of like, that looks terrifying.
I mean, I would never do it.
No.
I'd be insane.
I think I could talk myself into it, but right now I'm like, oof.
No, I'd probably pass out.
Yeah.
I don't like falling. Why would I do an activity in which I fall?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's the whole point. No.
Excellent. Well, yeah. Oh, speaking of rabbit holes. So when I was looking at robots and stuff from movies and games and stuff, I couldn't think of any from books that I could really, other than like In the Lives of Puppets, which I totally forgot about until you mentioned that Rambo. But I found a Goodreads list of books with AI, cyborg, robots, android, or enhanced beings. Oh. And there's tons. Of course there is, right?
Of course there is.
There's so many cool ones.
I probably narrated some of them.
Probably.
I just don't remember.
You probably have. But yeah, there's a whole ton. So I'll have to share the link maybe on our socials so people can poke around. But I'm like, oh shit, there's like 3 like immediately. Then I'm like, and download. Like, that looks fantastic.
For sure.
Because I don't think I've read any like good Android romances before. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I will one series that I keep meaning to get around to and haven't yet is the Murderbot series.
What's the Murderbot series?
Murderbot series, Martha Wells. It's really very popular. I think they're turning it now into a movie or a TV show.
Really?
Yeah, the Murderbot series. But it's about a murder bot who, like, his programming gets changed so that he doesn't want to kill people. And then it's like, what adventures can you have when you're designed to kill something and then don't want to?
Well, shit, I want to read that.
Yeah, and they're narrated by a really popular narrator that I'm like, I would enjoy those. I should get those.
Yeah, rock on. They are turning it into a thing.
So,
I've got one of the Skarsgårds.
Skarsgårds.
Yes,
Skarsgårds. Well, you know what? We've been talking for a long time, so maybe it's time.
This is a good time to wrap
to
up.
let this go. Okay. If you're not a robot, go check out our social media and our website and join our Patreon. We've already talked about that, so I won't get into it any more deeply than that. Just go follow us where you can. Subscribe to the podcast. Rate and review if you're on Apple Podcasts, and we'd love to see you over at the Patreon where we are doing all of that extra content every week.
Indeed.
So we will be back next week.
Bye.